Today is Thursday, July 20th, 2017. This is MMAjunkie Radio. On today's show, Jo Nattawut.
Yeah.
Michael Chandler.
Yeah.
Miles Hunsinger. He's going to be in studio. We haven't had him on for a while, so it's fun to catch up with him. We've been catching up with him at the gym, and he's going to be fighting PFL.
What's up, Randy?
I think he needs a new nickname.
Well, I don't know what his nickname is, but his Twitter handle is Merkenstein, which I think is awesome.
I think it should be the Merc King.
The Merc King?
Yeah, because I think that sounds like you are the king of murking people. So
yeah, but if you're Merkenstein, it's like I think it's a new level.
But that could mean that you got murked so many times that you're just parts of other people that have been murked.
Yeah, but if they told me, hey, Merkenstein's going up against the king over there, I'm pretty sure the king's going to want to bring backup because Merkenstein, you know, is not messing around.
No, because when somebody says that's the king, you're like, oh, it's the fucking king. All right, well, he's the
king
of murking people.
Were you a friend of King Joffrey? Are you afraid of him?
I don't understand your reference.
That's how Game of Thrones.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, the little kid, does he scare you?
The little kids are scary.
Yeah. No, just because you're a king doesn't. Fucking Burger King?
Dude, the Burger King is terrifying.
Yeah, but you would face him.
You know the commercial where the guy's laying in bed and he wakes up and turns over and the king is like laying right next to him? That is terrifying.
There's one of our friends who's so terrified of the Burger King that what was it?
You got a V-neck? Huh? You got a V-neck?
Yeah, I got one of these and one of those. Oh. Hey, we have a friend that's terrified of the Burger King. Who is it? April. Yeah. So George's ex-roommate, April, she's terrified of the Burger King. Like terror. Like you couldn't even have the channel. Oh.
Coming up.
This is your captain speaking. We are making our descent into Las Vegas McCarran Airport. On behalf of our crew, we'd like to thank you for flying MMAjunkie Airlines. Now please fasten your seatbelts and put your tray tables in your upright position because the descent is going to be a little bit bumpy.
Alright, Junkie Nation, it's time to roll, baby, on MMAjunkie Radio with Gorgeous George and Go. This is what we doing while we do it, baby. All night long, we rollin'! Yeah!
The MMA Radio revolution is upon us.
Can you dig it?
There's no escape. No escape. Through the vast frontier of cyberspace and through a sea of stars in outer space.
One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
We've solidified our combat communications stranglehold.
We are controlling transmission.
With the use of MMAjunkie Radio and SiriusXM satellite radio technology. MMAjunkie Radio. Commence transmission. Live from MMAjunkie Radio HQ in the fight capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada. Here are your hosts, Gorgeous George and Go.
From the fight capital of the world, inside the beautiful Mandalay Bay Racing Sportsbook, you are listening to the MMAjunkie Radio Show, the only show that matters. I'm your host, Gorgeous George. With me, as always, is the devious and dastardly Goes, Ari's co-host, back east, handling all the producing duties. It's going to be Danny. What's up, fellas?
All of the producing duties, all of it, boy. How you guys doing?
Good. Chilling, talking to Randy here, Junkie Radio site coordinator, popping in again. Are we supposed to say that, Randy, or are you supposed to be at a conference hiding? Okay, all right, we're good. He never gave me any sort of a wink to say he's incognito.
Roscoe right now. He went,
who?
You.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh. It's Thursday, July 20th. First of all, Man U versus Man City tonight. Start getting that appetite wet because in a few weeks, we're probably going to have one of them call-in shows or participation from social media like we did last year, proclaiming your team for 2017. 99% of you will probably pick the same team you picked last time, and then the other 1% that decided not to participate, but then halfway through decided, oh, that was dumb. I kind of like soccer a little bit, or I'm having fun with the guys. This is your chance to. Or maybe you're just a new listener.
Think someone will jump ship? Would you want
I don't know. You know,
to jump ship?
it's interesting because I've been asked a lot about the Raiders and a new team, and remember we talked about the Redskins if they changed their name and this and that and whatever, right? Mm-hmm. What I think in the end, it's kind of what makes you happy. You know what I mean? Like, you can, I mean, yeah, you'll be subjected to jokes. Oh, man, you jump ship, this, that, whatever. Yeah, but I'm going to all these games over here. I moved. I don't see you guys. You know, blah, blah, blah. So a lot of people are going to have a lot of cases for that. Like, for example, not to come at you or anything, but wouldn't you like to be at some Redskin games? You know what I mean? And so that's tough because you're in Vegas, formerly of California.
But here's the thing. I've never been used to going to them. So
right.
It's not like I know what I'm missing.
So let's say
if I came from D.C. where I had season tickets, it would suck. But because I never had them near me, I would only see them when they would play the Rams or the Raiders or the Chargers. It's not a big deal to me to just sit down and watch them on TV.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. So there's different layers. So, and for other people, they may say, well, it's not a big deal for me to just cheer for another team. I moved, or I'm over it, or I don't like the owner, or I don't like.
I start to question your heart.
I don't like how they build them. Right, and they question why you've never been to a stadium, like and
because it's far away.
Taking in
That's
the true
a lot
experience.
More different than
a road game.
Changing your team. How do you change your team? You grew up with that.
A road game.
I've been to road games.
Arizona is close. You see what I'm saying?
I haven't seen them at Arizona.
That's what I'm saying. Like that. So I'm saying someone could question you the same way you question them. So
no, because I'm still a fan of them. How could they question me?
Because their level, like, what if they went for 20 years to every Redskin game, and you know?
Oh, I'm not as big a fan as you, maybe, but can't question whether I'm a fan or not.
Right, but then all of a sudden they take they are also maybe not in line with the Redskin nickname. You know what I mean? Or maybe the new owner stands for something, or so they change. I don't know. But my point is, here in like Las Vegas, I'll go to a Raiders game because I like the experience of going to an NFL game, but I wouldn't become a Raiders fan. But if an expansion team came here, I'd seriously think about cheering for them. But then the problem is a lot of people are going to tell me, why aren't you going to cheer for the 49ers? I'm like, yeah, but I'm not a big fan of having two teams, I guess. Even though, like, I never hated the Clippers and I never hated the Angels because I grew up Lakers-Dodgers. But I never hated the other two. There wasn't a rivalry. Whereas UCLA, that was a rivalry. You couldn't possibly be a fan of both teams. I wouldn't even get caught up in if UCLA made it to a final and somebody saying SEC, me going Pac-10 or Pac-12 now. I'd just be like, good for you. I hope UCLA still loses. You know what I mean? So, anyway. I don't know.
Root for other teams.
Some people have jumped and that's their choice, and you know, it's just the Premier League for a lot of people. It's just them having some fun, and if they want to jump, that's fine. If maybe the team they rooted for, you know, just I don't know, doesn't play an exciting brand of ball, they're just getting into it. I'm not going to question them, especially if they're a Junkie Radio listener from the United States rooting for a UK-based team.
Okay.
Yeah. So, anyway, if people want to jump ship or just join the party, we'll be doing that at some point. But Man U plays Man City soon, and I can't wait to see it.
I think I'd be more like Benny Blanco if somebody did that. Nah, you stay and just shoot Pachanga. Because I don't know if I want that guy involved in my organization. Because how do I know he's not going to stab me and then go with the next guy? See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like a Jason Lackey. He claimed Liverpool, right?
Right. But
he didn't really get too into it. But if for some reason he said, man, you guys were right. Man, you all the way. I think I'd keep him at Pachanga distance. Because I'd be afraid he might stick a knife in my back, too.
But what would you really do? Let's say the Real Madrid's playing.
Well, just to make people upset, I'd go, hey, high five, you're in. But I'd keep him at a distance.
But let's say Real Madrid's playing Manchester United in Santa Clara on Sunday. And Lackey does go, want to go? And I got a couple tickets. Yeah. You're going, right? You're sitting, you're high-fiving, you're drinking. So, I guess.
Well, we do that a lot. Go to, like, other games. I love seeing live sporting events.
That's what I'm saying. So what do you mean about the distance? Like, would you turn them down and go, nah, because you might jump me in the parking? Like, what?
No.
Where's the reality here?
I need to see you put some real time in before I go, this is my Man U dog right here.
Right. Fair enough.
I want to see you buy a jersey or something.
Fair enough. The game's at 7 p.m. and it's on ESPN2. Oh my God, don't quote me. But it's one of those. It's tonight. And then the Real Madrid one, it's at 2 p.m. on Sunday, and I don't know where that'll be. Back to MMA, man. Get to MMA. All right, today we're going to be talking to Miles Hunsinger. I heard you say that goes in the preview show.
Jo Nattawut and
Jo
Michael
Nattawut.
Chandler.
Yeah, Michael Chandler. Now, here are the times. Chandler's coming on in about 1 hour. Jo Nattawut follows him pretty much immediately. Might squeeze in a commercial there. And then Hunsinger to finish out the show in studio. Hunsinger fighting for PFL in Everett, Washington, next Saturday. Next Saturday, there's a lot of stuff going on. I think there's a One Championship. There's a Ryzen. Technically, our Saturday, their Sunday. There's the UFC. There's a lot going on next Saturday. And Lion Fight. Wow, it's a stacked day, honestly. Oh, and Victory, remember? We had Ryan Stoddard on the show. So, literally, that's the couch potato there. Couch potato day there. If you're not going to an event or if you elect not to pay for that UFC, but I don't see how anyone won't pay for it. But we'll get to that in just a second. Chandler will call in. That's the former lightweight champ. We'll get an update on his leg injury. And then Nattawut is just an exciting Muay Thai fighter. And, you know, all these past few weeks we've been talking about a little bit of boxing and how it's a component of MMA. Well, Muay Thai is a huge component of MMA as well. And he's a great champion. He's a champion at Lion Fight. Super welterweight division, 154 pounds. Very exciting. One of the few Thai fighters that actually speaks English. So we'll pick his brain, talk a little bit about him and the show that's coming up and his title defense. And then Hunsinger, of course, Extreme Couture fighter. We've known him for a while. Now he's got that fight on this PFL card coming up. Now, back to the pay-per-views. So Big Ralph sent me a text today. They're offering it in 4K. You told him. Can I tell the audience what you told him?
Yeah.
Stay away from 4K? Why is that?
Because that's what Mike told us. Remember one time we went to Target with him, and he said that...
Mike who?
Northern Lights.
Oh, okay.
That the technology hasn't really caught up too well with 4K. Well, I thought he meant... Because if he already has a 4K
I thought he
TV,
meant across the board with all the channels, whereas certain channels are killing it.
So I don't know what Ralph meant. Like, I don't know if he meant, should I buy a 4K TV or should I buy it in 4K? If he has the ability to stream it 4K, then I would say
I think that's what he meant because he was showing the options of
because he has a
HD and the 4K. The 4K is 69 and the HD is 59. I guess it's just a clearer image. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
But
I thought it was the actual TV that you had to.
Maybe. I know very little. It could be. Let's see here. So that's happening, but I still want to tie in. You know, I threw out if you're not buying the pay-per-view, and of course many of you are going to tell me, you crazy, it's the card of the year. Pretty much, I think everyone I know is going to get it. But what shocked me was UFC 213 numbers came out. Did you see that? Roughly 125,000 pay-per-views.
Yeah.
That is a low number, courtesy of MMA Fighting. At least that's the link I saw earlier today on Twitter. So Dave Meltzer associated with that website. I'm sure that was his article. Didn't get to the byline. I was reading it quick. But 129,000 for that pay-per-view that included Romero, Yoel Romero, and Robert Whittaker fighting for the UFC interim middleweight title. And all in all, it turned out to be a fun card. I had a great time watching it at my friend's house. But, I mean, you know, a few of those fights really, really did deliver. And, you know, whatever. But the star power fell off, beginning with what was rumored to be GSP versus Bisping. It kind of never really happened. I mean, they had talked about possibly. We heard Dana White say July. Then he specified more end of July. This was at the press conference back in March. But, you know, they had talked about possibly International Fight Week. But it never really got put together on a card, per se. But what did get put together was Garbrandt versus Dillashaw. That fell off. Lawler versus Cerrone. That fell off. And both have been postponed. And Cerrone Lawler, if you know, don't know, but it is on UFC 214 with 3 other title fights. And the other one, Garbrandt, Dillashaw, is rumored to be at MSG the early November. So they got postponed. And then, of course, on fight night, they lose the title fight, the women's title fight, which was Nunes versus Shevchenko. Now, what you were saying was
Some
there was a
people-
drop off. So
Some people have bought the pay-per-view by that point, though. I've done that before in the morning, bought the pay-per-view.
right.
Now I wait almost to the very end just because of stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you expect a drop-off, but maybe not that low. Especially, we're kind of making fun of Bellator, right? Not too long ago for their numbers. These aren't that much greater.
Well, Bellator is rumored to be 90 to 130.
Mhm.
Now, another report came out that it was 50, and I think it was on our dumb combat chat at times. And I told you guys 90, and we're hearing 90 to 130. So even if on the low end it's similar to what I heard, but if it gets to 130, it could exceed UFC 213, which was 2 weeks later than Bellator NYC. But let's just say they're pretty much on par at this point, or maybe a slight victory for the UFC. And for Bellator, what is it? I'm not sure it's like, pop the best champagne we have. But I think clearing 100, it's probably a whew, because I think the other one was under the Bjorn regime. This one was under the Coker regime. And I feel like there's maybe still both under Viacom, like 2 different lifespans, Of course, I think they would feel like it was better, but if it was if there were rumors of 50 or 90 or something, and they may clear 100, then it'll probably be at least a money maker for them. And there's already plans of doing another one. Plus, they had a gate, so tying in the whole night, I think it was a success for them. For the UFC, I heard a rumor years ago. It was either 150 or 175 is what it takes to clear all advertising campaigns and embedded. That was even before embedded came along. The countdown shows, all the resources they pour into pumping up a fight, they need to get past that. That includes all the executives traveling, all the support staff, the what used to be the Burt Watson crew, 6 or 7 that help pin, the people that build the octagon, everything. And once they got past that, it was a winner. And anything as they kept going, 200, 300, 500, a million, gravy, just pouring more gravy.
You probably have to tack on a little bit more now, right?
Could be.
Guys
The salaries are
making
getting
more
bigger.
money.
Yeah.
More employees. That's
So that would be a loss. And on International Fight Week, I mean, a big loss. Now, granted, stars were born. Whitaker, hey, we got something out of it. And Gaethje the night before. So not a complete failure, but, the box office is important for sure. But there's always wins and losses for the UFC. They're very lucky in that regard. I think they're just a juggernaut when it comes to that. But, they've definitely seen better ones. I know last year's 200 was a million, or at least a million, or 1.1. And that had some setbacks, too. Now, one of them was post-fight with Brock. The other one was pre-fight with Jones. But regardless, those International Fight Weeks, those are pillars for them. Those are big weeks for them. All eyeballs on them. And by then, all the fireworks have been popped and shot in the air. It's usually a week after, and that's their time to shine. They're very unopposed. Maybe there's some running of the bulls or a Tour de France, or maybe a tennis tournament, but not much is really going on. Mm-hmm. And so that's just a disappointing number for them. And then the last number that came in was Kovalev versus Ward, also hovering in that low hundreds, 126 I think I heard, whereas last time it was closer to 190. That's bizarre because the last fight was a split decision. It was close. Ward got put down. Ward came back and won. Controversy. It spills over. Russia, U.S., black, white. I don't know. I just thought this one would do better, and
I had a feeling it would be somewhat low.
Yeah, I remember we were there, and I mean, there was a late ticket surge, but the word on the street here was it just got caught up. People weren't able to get hotel rooms because of EDC and the summer heat wave. I don't know, but it just probably should have done better. We went there, and we got a finish. We got a great fight, and I was pleased, but I don't know if the people that write checks were pleased.
Here's what I do know, and I've heard this from quite a few people. At the start of a month, some people just budget one pay-per-view per month, right? That they could go to the honey and go, this is why my cable bill is this high. And I think a lot of people at the beginning of the month said, I'm just putting all my chips in 214. Whatever happens at 213 happens. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. Yeah.
Okay. Well, going back to what you said, I guess that's where 213 lost out on.
Yeah, it could have been
because 214
even with Amanda,
strong.
Even with Amanda and Valentina, people might have made.
Well, that's my thing. Yeah. Would it have even crossed 200? Yeah. What did they cost themselves? 25,000 pay-per-views, 50, 100. those girls amped it up a little bit as best as they could. The English might even be the third language for Valentina. It's the second language for Amanda. And I love the trash talk. They came at each other, but it didn't come off like in any way where, oh my God, someone just needs to have their lid shut. It was just, look at them, they're cute, they're going back and forth, but it wasn't like venom,
Yeah, that was there.
A
little punch, right?
That was there, but it was more about their skills. They're awesome fighters, like well-rounded. Like Amanda can end a fight, we know that with her hands. She's very devastating, and of course the other one can do it as well, but she showed us the wrinkle with, hey, I can submit people too. So skills-wise, is that definitely you cannot hold it against them. I mean, they're top females for sure. It was going to be a great fight, but the other one wasn't able to show up. So whatever. Anyway, 866-522-2846 is the number to call in. Like I say, the first half of the show is pretty much wide open. We invite you to call in and talk about whatever you want, any of these fights that are coming up, or these numbers that I've been talking about here for the last 10 minutes. 866-522-2846. Also on social media, at MMAjunkie George on Twitter and Instagram, at The Goes on Twitter and Instagram. We also have a Facebook page. It's facebook.com/MMAjunkie Radio, but we're streaming on also facebook.com/official MMA Junkie. Included in that is, those chat and comments areas where you can leave us stuff, leave us thoughts, questions, concerns, and we'll try and address those.
I've been asked over and over what our plans are for next week. Are we allowed to talk about any of that?
Sure.
Do you have plans?
Next
week is our 2500 show.
Yeah. So the plans
kind
are
of a
to
big
broadcast in a studio in Costa Mesa,
Yeah.
but that's it.
People have asked if they can come to that, and what I've told them is it's a very, very small studio.
Yeah.
One person asked me months ago, and it was Juan Lee, and I told him he could come because he was there for show number 1. And then Mike asked yesterday. I basically said, if you're willing to stand in like a corner and not be able to sit down for 2 hours, I don't really care. But it's not the same setup that you would see here where we give you headphones and all that. Might be a little rough, but I can't see more than 2 people. So
we had tried to get our codec machine out from New York to Tustin, California, but my buddy's internet wasn't fast enough, and I didn't want to trouble him with boosting it.
Then he's got to dial up.
But you had also told me that people had started making plans, and that wasn't going to be as big of a deal. So I just said, all right, well, then we'll just go to Costa Mesa. Goes and I will do it. Maybe we'll toast a shot, a beer, or do it like the first show. I think we had shots and a beer.
Yeah, we had Coronas, and
that'll be our 2-drink limit, and
tequila.
And that'll be that. So, in part, I guess, look, we did back in January, February, I think I said, hey, today's our 2400 show. We received so much, pats on the back and kind words from everybody. And I was like, oh, hold on. That's like, save it, because I don't want to shove it down our throat. Like, look at us. We did it again. And I knew the 10-year anniversary was coming up. I knew the Junkie Gathering was coming up. And I knew the real 2500 show was coming up. So, that was nice. It was on Facebook and Twitter. But then the 10-year came up. And, of course, that was cool. It is a landmark for us. We're proud of it. And then the Junkie Gathering, it's a whole week long, and videos that came through and kind words from the people here at the Junkie Gathering, text, everything. And
after this, you're not going to hear a peep from us for a while.
At the 2500 show, I think, once I kind of heard that, it was either interest was dying down or the fact that people just had their plans and we were hitting all these hiccups, I just said, all right, book the studio, and that's that. So I would say the studio's hard to describe.
I guess what I'm getting at is, like, afterwards. Are there any plans?
We can have a lunch.
Is there anything going on? Or
we can have a lunch. We talked about going to the Peruvian restaurant.
Okay.
Yeah. So if anybody wants to join us there, it's called Inca Mamas, and it's about 15 minutes away from Costa Mesa, from where we'll be at, and we will probably be out of there by
12:30.
Yeah. So we'll be at Inca. I think 1 o'clock would be a safe time to say meet us there. It's on the border of Costa Mesa and Santa Ana, Inca Mamas, but it's technically in Santa Ana.
Right across the street from South Coast Plaza.
And Bristol. Yeah.
If you know shopping, you know South Coast Plaza. It's right across the street.
Yeah. So that's where we'll be.
You doing
on
ceremonials, anything like that?
What do you mean?
Weigh-ins?
Well, it's in Anaheim at the Honda Center. Possibly, yeah. I haven't really thought about it yet. Usually I either see Steve, the nerve guy, or Paula, the masseuse. And I haven't been to either in a while. So I just got to, I mean, we are going Wednesday, so we might have plenty of time to get to everyone. But I would say, yeah, the ceremonials. Are you going?
I kind of want to check it out just to see if the fact that they haven't been to SoCal in a while, if it makes it a bigger deal there. Anytime you get to see Cormier and Jones in the same vicinity, I think it's kind of interesting. So I think I might go.
Yeah. Lawler, Cerrone. Yeah. It sucks because I guess in Vegas it's not as bad. If they were all at Mandalay Bay and they said, hey, just report to the lobby, go in the stadium, stand behind the curtain. You're already rehydrated, so you should be feeling all right. Go out there, step on the scale. You don't even have to strip down, pose, and then it's the face-off more than anything, you know. But I know where they're staying. It's in Cypress, California. And from Cypress to Anaheim, with traffic, you're looking at about 30 minutes to an hour to get there and back. And now talk about the stand-around time. Like, why are they making them do that? Like, I don't know, man. They really need to figure this thing out. Like we talked about the other day. I guess the Q&A is nice. I just don't know how popular usually the Q&A is. Different cities really knock it out of the park. But what else is there? The Q&A and what else? That's it, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah. Now, if there's another press conference, that would kick ass. So if they said, come to the Honda Center, we're going to have a Q&A, then we're going to have a press conference for the fights we just signed in October or November or whatever, then I think that adds to it because now there's other fighters there in suits and maybe a chance for them to go out there and sign and, you know, take pictures and whatever.
What scares me is
but just the weigh-ins for them, like if we're so concerned about the rehydration process, then don't kill those 4 hours because, look, the weigh-ins is at 4. That means the bus is probably leaving at 2 to account for traffic, and they're all going to arrive around 3, and then they're just going to hang around in the back. Then they're going to do the thing. It ends at about 30 minutes sharp, 4:30. Then they go in the back. Dana White does the speech. By the time they gather everyone, does the speech. Let's call it 4:45, 5. And then, again, now you know that 5 o'clock traffic on Friday, going back to the hotel in Cyprus. Maybe 6:30-ish, 7-ish, you know what I mean? Like, so they left at 2 and got back at 7. I mean, I feel terrible for the fighters having to do that. They should have installed themselves. There's plenty of hotels right there around Anaheim.
Disneyland Hotel is where they usually stay, right?
No, they stay at the they've stayed at 2 different spots. They used to be a big Marriott company, but it's like a Hyatt, right? Well, close to Disneyland, yeah. But not the Disneyland Hotel, but
right across the street. That little group, they stayed there before.
Like a Hyatt. And then there was a Marriott as well, right in front of the convention center.
When Kane fought Brock, that's where they were. I think it was the Marriott, and it was right in the little cluster right before Disneyland. That's where they were.
Yeah. But do you remember when we broadcasted and had Chuck Liddell in the room?
Yeah, I think that was the same place.
No, that was the Marriott.
No, I think that. Oh no, you're right.
Yeah, that was the Marriott. It faced the convention center, whereas the one you're talking about faced Harbor Boulevard.
What I'm worried about, and I don't think they'll do this, but they have done it in the past. They've had the weigh-ins indoors, but they've also had them outdoors twice.
Yeah.
I think there was 2 times where we went where they were indoors and 2 times when they were outdoors. So I don't know.
Juliet was just in California. She said it's humid too.
Is it? It can't be as bad as it is here, man.
Well, here we have dry, but it has been humid because of the rain. But yeah, she said it was consistently kind of like a sticky, humid feel, I guess. Who knows? All right, let's take this break. When we come back, we'll take some calls. 866-522-2846 is the number to call in. You're listening to MMA Junkie Radio on Sirius XM Rush 93. Leave us a comment on the Facebook chat. I'll take a look, give some shout-outs, answer some questions. We'll be right back.
I'm having trouble trying to sleep. I'm counting sheep.
Go ahead.
All right, Nick Peranio. He's saying, I'm not saying McGregor's going to win in boxing, but he trashed Floyd in MMA. Stands 0.00001 chance. In boxing, I give Conor a 1% chance. You know, that's interesting because I give both. I give Conor a... Yeah, I guess 1%. If they fought 100 times, I guess Conor would get him one of them. So I give him a 1% chance. Floyd in MMA, if they fought 100 times, I think I might give him 2 or 3. Just because he's gonna throw hands, times? Right? Huh?
100 times?
Yeah, let's say they fought 100 times. 100 boxing matches. How many of those does Conor win? Like, if we're really gonna be mathematicians here,
how many does Conor win in boxing?
Yeah.
I give and every single time it's the best Floyd, right? So
not the best, but the current
Floyd. They're not
Floyd.
like fighting one day after another.
Yeah,
yeah.
They recover from their injuries and they're right back to where they were.
I'll give him one,
just because he may catch that. But
even if he does, it doesn't mean he's gonna knock him out.
We know our geometry better than your high school math teacher.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Octagons, rings, and square circles on SiriusXM Rush 93 and the SiriusXM app. Mixed martial arts, boxing, pro wrestling, and so much more. We are SiriusXM Rush 93. Listen anytime on the SiriusXM app.
Right.
The other way, I'll give Floyd 8, somewhere around there.
Yeah. If Conor and Floyd were about to box, someone put a gun to your temple and said, pick the winner or we pull the trigger, you're picking Floyd, right? But if they say it 100 times, aren't you picking Floyd each time?
Mm-hmm.
Right? You're kind of saying it the same for Conor. So, gun to the head, we leave you to the side. But if we just talk about mathematics.
I'm more scared the other way around, though.
With Floyd?
Well, if it's MMA and I go Conor, I'm not going Conor all day. I'm going Conor, but come on. He's still got to close the distance. That's a scary thing.
Right. And everybody keeps saying, the same guy, Nick says, he'd take him down and choke him out. It's not that easy. I mean, it's kind of easy, but Conor doesn't have that traditional wrestling. You know, like there's a lot of guys that I would say that will just blow right through him. You know? On the way in, a lot of wrestlers have caught.
He's got to miss that punch, too, going in.
You know,
it's not like Floyd's going to stand there.
Remember Petruzzelli and Kimbo?
Yeah, the
Petruzzelli, I don't want to like disrespect him. He's a tough guy, plenty of wins. But it looked like almost like he was retreating, not scared, but concerned, we'll call it. And then he just went, boop! And who went down? Kimbo. Rock solid jaw on the streets. Older, I get it. But still. And then, of course, we saw Ray Mercer take out Tim Sylvia. These are 4-ounce gloves. So I could see the fight starting and Floyd just, you know, being cautious. He doesn't want to get taken down. And all of a sudden, just, you know, one of those in 100 fights may land. Maybe even more of those.
Quite a few times.
That's what I'm saying.
I said like 8 to 10 maybe. Because Conor, he knows Conor's going to come in. There's no way he shoots and Floyd doesn't throw a punch. I don't think he's trying to fight the takedown. I think he's going to try and land a punch as he's coming in. And you're talking about one of the most accurate boxers in MMA ever, in boxing ever. He's going to land a few of those. Whether they put Conor out or not, we don't know. But he will land them.
I'd almost say you're better off just giving him Ben Askren.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
He'll just take you down and maul you.
I would feel more safe with a guy like Chandler than I would with Conor.
Right. That's the unique thing. This is nothing against McGregor. I would be more confident with Masvidal against Floyd in boxing than Conor versus Floyd in boxing. I'd be more confident with Askren versus Floyd in MMA than Conor. But Conor's a massive name. I mean, there's no way around it. That's why we're all in this.
Hey, idiot. Yeah, you. Can you please tap that rather large fellow on the shoulder and tell him it's time for more MMA Junkie Radio with Gorgeous George and Goes? Thank you.
The SiriusXM NFL Radio Training Camp Tour kicks off 1 week from today. Stay tuned for the latest on all 32 teams as they get ready for the 2017 season. The only place to catch 24/7 coverage of the NFL League, or the National Football League, is SiriusXM NFL Radio, Channel 88, and on the SiriusXM app. I love that channel. That whole run of sports, 88 NFL, 86 NBA, the FC channel. I think technically it's called. Do you have the channel listing in front of you, Danny? What's 85 called? Something AC. Is it Football AC? FC?
I do not have it in front of me. Sorry.
Yeah, it's called something FC. I'll look it up. And of course, Sirius XM, Rush 93, kicking ass. Let's take some calls. I'm hearing we have some callers on hold. Who do we got, Danny?
First up is Marco in Waco.
What's up, Marco?
Marco from Waco. ¿Qué pasa, Atos?
Not much, man. And you?
I'm doing fantastic. Hey, don't forget that you also stream on YouTube, MMAjunkie Radio on YouTube. You never mentioned that, man.
You know, I go in there and I swear to God, it's the Wild West. I've been called so many terrible names that just don't even poke my head in. I think all I do is say deuces and walk out. But Facebook, there's been some crazy people in there as well. But believe it or not, I'll leave a comment, and then they actually wind up liking my page or smiling back as if to say, yeah. Whereas YouTube really sounds like stone cold killers in there. So I don't know. Not really too into it. But yeah, we are on youtube.com/MMAjunkie Video.
Hey, you guys were talking about the pay-per-views for 200, kind of terrible. I always wonder how many of those, because that only include the cable providers, but what happened with the numbers for like Fight Pass? Because that's how I watch my pay-per-views, you know. It's more interactive. You can get the corner cams and all that crap. Mm-hmm. I wonder how much is that, because that is not reflected. I don't think it's a big chunk, but it also counts, and they don't have to pay the cable providers anything because all the money goes directly to the UFC. Just wonder.
Yeah, well, that would apply to all of them. So if they're gonna, if there's gonna be a lot of glory from the 1.5 millions, then we can't say, well, we got to subtract all the Fight Pass ones too. You know, I mean, it's all one number. It was a poor number.
Yeah, I know. I wonder that is why they throw out the bat signal, and we're hearing rumors that Brock Lesnar is making a comeback.
I thought the same thing, my man. I thought the same thing. Like, wait a minute, we got to get some of these big names back. What do we got going now? John Morgan did an article with Jeff Nowitzki from USADA, and he denies that Brock Lesnar has entered the USADA testing pool.
Okay, well, so we continue. One last thing, dude. I don't know if you guys watched the HBO Real Sports feature of that Chechen dictator that promotes Akbar Fighting Club on ACV. A real bad look for all these UFC fighters that have gone and hang out with this guy. You know, Frank Mia, Fabricio Verdun, Frankie Edgar, Chris Weidman. That is a terrible son of a bitch, man. And I don't know if you haven't watched it, the HBO Real Sports special. You need to watch it because it goes in depth of how this guy is using MMA as a branch of his government. He got like 5,000 fighters on his fighting club, and the ones that don't become professional fighters, they become his personal bodyguards. He's like a personal army, dude. This guy has done a purge on gay people, basically grab them, torture them, and kill them, and a whole bunch of other horrible things, man. So keep an eye on that. Take a look. We better let you guys tell you that next time.
What I had heard, thanks Marco for the call, was not. I mean, I want to watch this because I'm a fan of that show. Mm-hmm. But remember, I told you the other day that there was a promoter out there in Russia who has overturned a couple decisions just because that was his decision. I think that's the same guy. Mm-hmm. So now tack on what Marco's saying.
As a fighter, I don't think you should ever hang out with the promoter, ever. Whether he's a good guy or not, just bad things tend to come out of that in people's eyes. I think it'll give you more headaches as you go through your career. I mean, people still point to like guys hanging out with Don King and that's why he did that and that sort of. I think you just got to kind of stay away from your promoter.
So like, Makovsky fights, so he shows up and fights. I don't know if there's a killer after party or what, but Thiago Silva, same thing. But what Marco's saying is a few of these guys got special invites. So that was more of a hangout for sure. Mm-hmm. I don't know as an athlete, you know, what the course of business is there. If it's like the UFC where, you know, I've talked to many UFC fighters and they haven't even talked to Dana. Maybe the matchmaker, but for sure a Burt Watson or whoever, you know, is running that type of a show. But what he's referencing, I've seen those pictures. Weidman's gone out. Fabricio's gone out. I think Mir commentates for him.
I think he has, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. Good call, Marco.
Let's go to Sean in Illinois.
What's up, Sean? How you doing?
What's going on, guys?
How are you?
Not much, and you?
Nothing much. Just enjoying this heat wave we got here in Illinois. I just got a question. Do you think Bisping is pretty much running from all these fights and stuff because you think his career's at an end and he just kind of wants to go out in a blaze of glory?
I think even if he were, let's just say he's running, it's really tough to do that because no matter what corner you pick, there's a killer behind pretty much every door. I don't think he is, but what do you think, George?
Well, if you look at his record, he's fought tough guys, so can't question his courage there. He's always fought tough guys. There's been plenty of tough guys there. However, what I do believe is that GSP rumored fight was definitely more lucrative, and I think he's been open about that and explained that, you know, why would he pass that up, knowing that he's probably within a fight, maybe two, of retiring, and that could be one final big payday. The question would be if the UFC had said, all right, well, we'll pay you the same if you fight Romero at the time, then would he have said, oh, cool, then I get to defend against the number one the proper way? That's where I think people are kind of lost in, well, is he pussing out? Is he doing this? But again, if you look at the record, he's got 27 fights, and there's killers in there. Like, Vanderlei wasn't scary back in the day. You know what I mean? There was Henderson 2 times. Dear God. I mean, that's the H-bomb coming at your jaw. You saw what happened the first time. You got in there with him the second time. 46 years old. I get it. But so, you know, he's got this knee injury that has been holding him out. And yeah, along the way, between, you know, the beginning of the year, Jacare lost, so he's not a top contender. Romero lost, he's not a top contender. And Mousasi moved on, so he's no longer a top contender. What's left is Whittaker, and that's no picnic. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. It turns out Whittaker probably is the toughest matchup for him. I still think Jacare would be a tough one, but Romero, the one thing I have seen is you clear 2 rounds, maybe even sooner. And even though he's still got a lot of heart, he's still an incredible athlete. He still, you know, gathers moments of explosion. A well-conditioned Bisping would probably start to, you know, take him apart and probably beat him. You know, and that's something a lot of people didn't believe early on. And who knows? Maybe one of those explosions he gets caught. We don't know. We'd have to see the fight. But Whittaker's young, and he just, you know, he's precision. He's a great striker. He's growing in confidence. So in the end, he's probably going to wind up facing one of the tougher matchups possible now that the GSP possibilities are just over.
A lot of people had Romero and Jacare at the top of that list of guys that he would just want to avoid. But honestly, I really feel like Whittaker, and I felt like Mousasi had the style that would really give him trouble.
Yeah. Well, I thought all 4 of them would get him, but I think the others were just talked about because they were up there, you know. Mousasi had the loss to Uriah Hall, which he avenged, and then Whittaker had just come up from welterweight, where Stephen Thompson saw him out, you know, with a TKO win. But that fight should come up soon, though. I think both guys are, you know, they're both injured, but I think by the end of the year we'll probably see something between Whittaker and Bisping unifying.
Well, I hope so, because I've been watching this sport forever, and now, you know, since all this stuff's about money and everything, the sport's kind of went downhill. You know, people wanting to avoid the number one guy and go fight for money, which I understand, because you got to make money to support yourself. So they ain't got no health insurance system and stuff. But I don't think number one contender should get jumped over, and Romero should have had that shot a long time ago. But you know,
there was a time. There was a time. Thanks, Sean, for the call. Where, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't Romero injured when he did take on the Hendo fight, or was that just they had some money, right? So maybe he wasn't as injured as we thought. That kind of fell under, hey, the guy did a lot for us. Let's throw him a bone, you know, to avenge the loss that haunts him in Manchester, for crying out loud. So this would be a good time. I think that's why the UFC did it. But when they did it back to back and said, now let's give him GSP, I think a lot of it had to do with not just the payday, but I think Bisping, if you showed him the opponents and the money was even, I think he'd probably go, yeah, man, I'll take the smaller guy. You know, it's skilled or not. He hasn't fought in 4 years, and he's smaller, and these other monsters are, you know, tough.
I'd be shocked if we never saw Bisping Romero. I think the trick for the UFC is to make sure that shit happens in the cage and not somewhere else. You cannot have those guys in the same room. They'll fight. They really will. And I think that's the difference between...
Maybe. Romero...
Dude, they'll fight. They both crossed big lines. I think if Romero sees him, he's swinging.
But we spent an hour with Romero, and I still feel like...
There's buttons you push, and there's buttons that you don't. And Bisping pushed the button you don't push. And that's the difference. When you're watching Floyd Mayweather and Conor McGregor, and I mentioned this on another show, if they somehow, staying at the same hotel and ended up in the same elevator on the way down, those two don't fight. Because they get it. They get, all right, we're here because of money. You put Bisping and Romero in an elevator, when you open that door, someone's going to be on the floor. That's what separates these big rivalries. Same thing with Ali Frazier. Same thing with Duran and Leonard. They couldn't ride an elevator all the way down. Fuck no. You crazy? They hated each other.
I do agree. I think someone would be on the floor. But after spending time with Romero, it still seems like that was a moment of fury probably. He did the video and he got amped up. But it just seems like the other 360 days, give him 5 bad days, he's really calm. He's a professional. He you know. But I guess if Bisping antagonized him, you're right. I think the beast would be unleashed. But if Bisping stayed quiet, I don't know that the other guy's as much of a button pusher as Bisping. Here are the channels, by the way. I looked them up. From 93 down is money. Like if you're into golf, 92. The NHL's 91. NASCAR's 90. So I float around there just to listen to headlines and stuff like that. I don't spend too much time on those as much, but MLB, if you're into that, is 89. 88 is the NFL. And then Sports Fantasy, which I know a lot of you love, and I have listened to that one, especially around draft times, just in the past. That's 87. 86 is NBA, and it's called SiriusXM FC, which I guess is Football Club.
You'd imagine.
Football Channel, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what their FC stands for. Usually an FC, anywhere you see worldwide, is Football Club or Football Club. That's 85. I like it. Sometimes they spend a lot of time talking about U.S. soccer, and I don't get into it as much because it's
MLS.
I'm more into it. No, the U.S., the national. And
really?
Yeah, I think you'd like it if you're really big into it. I think you'd like it. I can only take so much. I think
got a win last night.
My soccer resources are more, for Man U. But then there's the College Football Sports Nation on 84, Fox Sports on 83, Mad Dog's pretty cool for sports talk on 82, and then ESPN on 81. 80 is another ESPN. One's ESPN Extra, the other one's 80. So from 93 on down, all sports, man. It's money. You guys will dig it.
Why don't we take Russ from Boston and then take a break after him?
Hey, Russ, how you doing?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Not much, and you?
Good. Hey, I've been hearing. I think you guys might have mentioned a little bit about it earlier, but about Brock Lesnar not entering the pool, or regardless of what happens. I mean, he's obviously interested in another fight because come the beginning of the year, it's time to renegotiate with the WWE, and that's what happened a couple of years ago. He expressed interest in fighting again, but if he does fight, and I'm not asking which one you prefer, but which one do you think is bigger? Because there's been 2 matches. I think Dave Meltzer mentioned that a couple fights that they would want. One would be him versus John Jones, and one would be him and Stipe. Now, obviously, he's coming off a loss, but, I mean, like I said, it's not which one you prefer, but which one do you think is bigger? Brock in a heavyweight title fight, or Brock against John Jones, who's arguably the greatest fighter of all time?
I would say probably John Jones would be the bigger one.
Who's coming off a loss, though?
Brock.
He is?
Well,
he's suspended, right? It wasn't a reverse or whatever?
They reversed it? I thought it was just a no contest.
Well, it's not a win, right? And he lost his fight before that years ago, right?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Like it didn't exist,
I
so
see what you're saying. Yeah, it would be the Reem loss. Okay. So, well, Brock is, to borrow a term that Dana White's been pounding to death, he's kind of a unicorn himself. So that lost over him in 2011. I could definitely get beyond that. But I could get beyond that in featuring him versus Jones. And I guess what's that, a super fight? I guess it all depends on if Jones wins, then Jones is moving up to heavyweight and they're just super fighting. Okay, I can live with that. But him versus Stipe, ooh, that would suck, man, because I'll try and tolerate some of those shenanigans, these money fights and these opportunities and these once in a lifetimes. And I'll get behind it and say, yeah, all right. They signed the fucking contract. You know, you're gonna buy the pay-per-view or not? Let's talk about it. Let's break it down. Let's gamble on it. Whatever. But this one would be like, oh my god, like seriously. Yeah, him against Stipe for the title. Ooh, man, no, I don't want to see that one bit. So give me Brock versus Jones. Win or lose, give it to me. I think those are two big names in a super fight. Brock Lesnar for sure is not cutting it 205. So even if Jones wins next Saturday, it's not like he'd be defending against him. It would just be him trying 205, or sorry, heavyweight, and I'm okay with that one. How about you guys?
I mean, either way, I get what they're trying to do. So, and if there's ever a division where you're going to do something like that, the heavyweight's just like, look at Alistair. If I get a title shot, cool. If I don't, I'm all right with it. Kane can't show up to the dance a lot of the time. So if there's ever a division where you're going to mess around and do those type of things, it'd probably be that one. But obviously it would put a bad taste in my mouth.
That one would be tough, dude. Because on the technicality, Russ is right. He's coming off a loss. Then all the bullshit with Mark Hunt and the USADA and lawsuits and, oh, boy. Who are the other heavyweights that would have it? And then Ngannou, JDS, the winner of that has to have a case over Brock Lesnar. And who are the other ones that are still like on some sort of a win streak? Let's look it up here.
Well, at that point, then just those two are, I think, the last two where you go, okay, those guys would have serious issue with what's going on here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, don't give me that one. Please don't give me that one. That one would be a tough one to swallow. I mean, if you're passing up the Reem, who won?
Even Ngannou is like the type of guy that's been kind of like, hey, when I get there, I get there.
Yeah, Russ, good stuff, man. You made us think here, and it's great to hear your voice after a long time. Take care, buddy. We got to go to commercial. You're listening to MMA Junkie Radio on Sirius XM, Rush 93.
Heading for a crash.
They were forged from the same ball sack, but act as though they've never met. They are the brothers Garcia, Gorgeous George and Goes.
Sirius XM is now on Amazon Alexa. Just Just enable the SiriusXM skill, log into your account, and say, quote, Alexa, listen to Rush 93 on SiriusXM, end quote. For more information, visit SiriusXM.com/Amazon Alexa. That's one of the tougher reads you give me, Danny. If there's any other ones, I'd prefer to just tell people about it rather than go through all that. That one's a tough one, huh?
Dish was rough.
Dish? Oh, was that the longer one?
Yeah.
Yeah. I do want to give a shout out to Combate Americas. So on July 27th, which is next Thursday, they're going to have an event called Combate Clásico. That's why Goz and I are rocking our gear. And we will have a few fighters on from that fight card tomorrow. And also their man in charge, the big man, the head honcho over there, Campbell McLaren, he'll join us next Tuesday. But I want to let everybody know, as of right now, that on ESPN3 you'll be able to watch the fights. That announcement was just made, so that's huge because a lot of people have that. And you should check it out. We'll give you more details as we get, closer to the event. But this is all tied into the Clásico event between Real Madrid and Barcelona, which I believe is the first time that they're going to be fighting, or facing off in football stateside.
Same thing with
in Miami
Man U and Man City. It's the first time it's been out of England.
Really? Okay, I didn't know that fun fact. So there you have it. So that's happening next week, and again, ESPN3 will get you covered. We'll talk more when we come back. Quick break and a sports update. It's MMA Junkie Radio on SiriusXM, Rush 93.
Viva Las Vegas.
blacking in and out in a strange flat in East London. Somebody I don't really know just gave me something to help settle me down and to stop me from always thinking about you. And you know your life is heading in a questionable direction when you're up for days of strangers and you can't remember anything except the way you sounded when you told me you didn't know what I should do. It's a long road up to recover. Like every other day, and just like every boring blues song, I get swallowed by the pain, and so I fumble for your figure in the darkness just to make it go away.
Make this song go away. You're listening to the MMA Junkie Radio on Sirius XM Rush 93. It's the second hour here. Myself with Goes and Danny. Who's that? Or what was that? What was that, Danny? Please don't tell me it was Automatic 253. I'll feel terrible.
No.
Oh, okay.
It was called Recovery.
Oh, all right. Well, I don't know if I can recover from that one. Shout out to Aaron Fisher, Raider Kella, Eddie Washington joining the Facebook chat. Sean Moody is who called in from Illinois. He says Bisping lost to Silva and also Hendo the second time. No, he didn't. Otherwise, he wouldn't be champ. He beat Hendo. That was a close call. You may have thought the other way, and that's fine because it was close, but his hand was raised, man. The two judges have excellent views of the fights, so you just got to live with it. All right, shout out to Nick Peranio again and Justin Fernandez for also chiming in. Let's talk to Michael Chandler, the former lightweight champion at Bellator MMA. He fought at the Bellator NYC card, and of course that fight was stopped because of an injury suffered to his leg, nerve damage. We want to see how that recovery's gone and when we can possibly be seeing him go for his strap, get it back again. Joining us now on the hotline is Michael Chandler. What's up, Chandler? Good to talk to you.
What's up, boys? How are you?
Good, and you?
Oh, just living the dream.
So are we going to start hearing a drawl pretty soon? I think you moved, right, to another part of the country?
Not quite yet. We got a couple weeks. We move August 15th, basically. So we're going to do a little road trip August 10th to the 15th, and then maybe that draw will start coming out. We'll find out.
Says Nashville on your Twitter, so you're throwing me off here. So you're still in America's finest city, San Diego?
Yeah, the third finest city.
Third finest? What's 1 and 2?
I made that up.
What are you gonna miss about San Diego the most?
Man, it's been my home for the last couple of years. It's a beautiful place. It's, obviously the weather. The weather's the easy answer. It's sunny 300 days a year here, and it's about between 70 and 80 degrees all year round almost. So it's beautiful. We will definitely miss that. We'll definitely miss the sun. We'll definitely miss the consistently beautiful weather. But yeah, I would say there's a ton of really, really cool bars and restaurants here. But Nashville is a growing city, and Nashville is up with the times, becoming to get up with the times on the culinary scene and the cocktail scene and all that kind of stuff. So we're looking forward to exploring Nashville.
Give me a go-to spot in San Diego if I'm ever there.
The greatest place in San Diego is called Kettner Exchange, and it's on Kettner Boulevard downtown. It's tapas style. They have 20 small plates on the menu, and then they have 6 big plates where you can get a steak or a big piece of fish or your normal big plates. But their menu is made to share, so you just order a bunch of little kind of tapas, and then they have a really good cocktail list, really good wine list, and a really cool atmosphere. So I bet my wife and I have eaten there over 200 times since we've lived here the last couple of years. So,
are you still close with the Alliance team, by the way? Are there guys there that you're going to miss, or have you kind of been away from that camp for a while now?
I've been away from the camp for a while. There's certain guys that I'll miss, yeah, but I'm still friends with a lot of those guys. I just don't really train there. I train other places when I'm here in San Diego.
Where do you train?
I train with John X Alvin out here. It's Jeremy Stevens, striking coach. Actually hit pads with him yesterday. And then I'll do my wrestling with Daryl Christian. And I do a lot of strength and conditioning work. If anybody who follows me on my social media platforms sees, I'm always at the strength and conditioning gym with Jeff Bristol, Todd Durkin up there in Scripps Ranch. So always working on my striking, wrestling, and grappling, and strength and conditioning. So even between camps, I've stayed in shape, and I think that was what was so unfortunate about this last fight. Was I was literally in the best shape of my life, and the best body composition of my life, and the best skill set wise I've ever been in my entire life. And then, it's a crazy sport full of crazy ups and downs, and life happens.
Yeah. Hey, one last thing here. Curious George, at it again. But when you went to the Black Zillions, did that kind of shut down you just going back to Alliance? Because at one point I thought you were still popping into Alliance. That's why I'm asking, because it didn't seem like there was a bad parting of the ways. Even your former coach, Eric Del Fiero, was here in studio, and he had great things to say about you even after you guys kind of split.
Yeah, no, I mean, there was no animosity. There was no, I didn't have a problem with anybody there. It was just a business decision that I needed to make for the betterment of my career, and Neil Melanson left, and he went down to Florida. So I went down there and trained a little bit and realized that was where I needed to be to kind of really hit that next gear in my career, So when I'm here in San Diego, it's not that I don't, it's not that I avoid those guys at Alliance. I just haven't really made it down there that much, but still hang out with guys outside of the gym, hang out with Dom and some of the other guys. So yeah, I have a ton of respect for those guys, and no hard feelings at all. It's just I left the team and went somewhere else.
And I stand corrected, you're not down with the Black Zillions. You're technically down with, I think it's called Combat Club, right? Is that what Henry Hoof's gym's called? And is that where you mostly reside, or are you still able to dip into Black Zillions? 'Cause I know there's a little bit of a split. I think you've managed to be cool with both camps. So how's that work?
There's definitely a split, but yeah, I've managed to keep a good relationship with both teams. So it was a interesting kind of situation, and the team basically split. And the majority of the guys went to Combat Club, and then a few guys stayed to Black Zillions or CSMMA, where Neil Melanson is. So, luckily for me, I am able to be amicable with both sides.
Nashville's going to be what kind of scene is going to be there? Tell us about where you're going to train, or are you still going to dip out to Florida for your camps? How's that going to work?
Yeah, so we move August 15th. I'm in plans are in the works as of right now. As we speak, to where I'm signing the lease on a facility there in Nashville, so I'm going to have my own gym. We'll do fitness, we'll do MMA, we'll do grappling, we'll do everything that a normal MMA gym plus a fitness gym would do, and we're going to focus on personal training and group classes and group fitness and that kind of stuff, along with the MMA stuff, and along with me trying to build a team there in Nashville. But things take time, so I've got some people in Nashville, some coaches, some training partners that are already there. Nashville MMA and some of the other gyms that are already established there. And from every conversation that I've had with everybody there, it's going to should be a smooth transition where I can come in and start training with a bunch of guys there in Nashville between camps. And if I have to pop down to Florida to get some grappling with Neil and get some striking with Henry and do some sparring and stuff down there, it's a quick 50-minute flight away instead of being all the way across the country, So it's exciting, man. You never really know how the future is going to unfold and how all these situations are going to work themselves out, but they always do, So I'm looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to this next chapter of my life, and it's going to be extremely fruitful.
Michael Chandler, our guest here on MMAjunkie Radio, goes. What do you got for him?
Michael, does the gym have a name yet?
It does not. I'm toying around with a couple that I have in mind, but there's a couple different, deals that I have in the works right now that might include naming rights. So can't really release anything like that yet. But the gym itself, the brick and mortar, the lights, and all that kind of stuff, all that stuff is there, and we're getting all that stuff squared away. But the actual name of it is yet to be revealed.
Well, if the naming rights didn't come through, what were you thinking of calling it, just if it was based around, you or your team?
MMA Training Center.
What was it? Good? What? Say it again.
MMA Junkie Training Center.
Nice. Well, have you ever seen Michael? Have you ever seen when the Notre Dame football players? Have you ever seen when they touch that little plate in the locker room that says "Play like a champion"?
Yeah.
You gotta have something. You have to have something by your door that says "Iron sharpens iron," and you have them touch that as they're walking out. Everybody's got to touch it. They don't. Push-ups.
They don't. Get out of the gym.
Beat it, nerd. There should be another sign. You just point to that.
That one too. If you have, you got to kick somebody out. You just say, "Look at the sign. Beat it, nerd."
Well, Michael. So let's talk a little bit about the last fight, the injury. How long did it take? I was shocked to see a video of you. I think it was last week, running like nothing was going on at all. Like, how long did it take for you to get over that injury?
Yeah, it's crazy, man. I put in, I think the video you're referring to, I put in 5 miles that day. I put in 3.5 yesterday, and did a 2 a day. I hit pads in the morning and then did a 3.5 mile run yesterday. So it's crazy when I say my leg is literally back to normal. Because if you go back and watch the fight and you see the ankle roll and you see that I was definitely in a bad way, it looked like a really bad injury, But it was basically, when I rolled that ankle, I sustained nerve damage and I had basically no motor function in my ankle and in my foot. So for a guy, you guys have seen every single one of my fights, for a guy like myself who is always coming forward and I never fight off my back foot, I'm constantly coming forward. And even when I was injured, it was hard for me to stop myself and stop that natural movement of trying to come forward, But yeah, man, it was rolling under me and it was crazy. And for about, I basically didn't have much pain. Obviously I rolled the ankle pretty darn bad. But I was walking around New York the next day. My wife and I spent 2 days in New York, so we walked around a little bit. Swelling and all that kind of stuff was definitely present, and it was definitely a little bit painful. But, walking around the city, didn't have a ton of pain, but I did have a paralyzed foot. Like, literally, I could walk, but it was as if my foot was just flopping, So I had basically a paralyzed lower leg for, 3-4 days straight, and then...
Wait, so when you were walking with your wife in New York, it would still occasionally flop? Like you had to be careful with your stepping, your steps and all that?
No, so the weird thing is, if I was walking normal, just like a normal gait, like you walk, it was completely fine, because you lead with your knee. You lead with your knee, and, your heel lands, and then you walk forward. I can't describe it, I guess. But if I'm in my actual fight stance, and that leg is out in front of me, and that's my rudder, to move to, it doesn't propel me forward. The back foot, you push off the back foot, but that front foot, it dictates where you go. If it goes straight forward, a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right. So fight stance, I was pretty much immobilized. But actual walking, as you can see, I walked out of the cage. They were like, okay, we need to get your crutches, we need to get you a stretcher, we need to get you that. And I'm like, no, I don't care if this thing's broken, which they all say was broken, but I knew it wasn't broken. I wanted to walk out of the cage. So I walked out of the cage, and I walked back to the back and walked all the way to the ambulance that they made me get in, and, had to go to the ER and all that kind of stuff. So I could walk. I just couldn't be in my fight stance, which, unfortunately, you have to be in your fight stance to fight. So, but 100% healed now. So 3 weeks out, Scott Coker booked the rematch. Let's go.
So we talk about the ankle, you rolling the ankle as the injury, and if you hear Primus talk about it, he says, well, it's the kicks that I was killing the nerve that led to him rolling the ankle. What do you feel about that take?
I mean, sorry if, Brent feels that way. But I mean, all I can say is I don't remember any kind of, I guess, floppy foot syndrome. I didn't notice any of that until I rolled the ankle, The doctors I spoke to said that makes complete sense. So that's what I'm going with, and that's where I'm at. I mean, obviously, Brent thinks it's from kicks. I think he only literally threw one leg. I mean, the fight was 2 minutes and 22 seconds. The injury happened within 30 seconds of the fight. I don't know if you guys remember how many kicks were thrown, but how do you do nerve damage or shut down a nerve or kill a nerve with 1 or 2 kicks? I mean, I don't even think it's humanly possible. I've been kicked in my leg 70,000 times in my career, and way harder than that, So I just don't see a correlation. Brent can say all he wants, I guess, and that's how he's trying to prove to himself that he is the champion. But you can tell by his antics after the fight. You can tell by how he acted out of character, how he wouldn't even look over in my direction, wouldn't even make eye contact with me, didn't even have the class to come over to a man who was sitting on a stool with a possible broken leg and say, hey, I'm sorry it happened like this. I'll see you in the rematch. It was almost as if he knew that he didn't deserve that win. He knew that he didn't deserve to have that belt around his waist. Therefore, he didn't even look my direction until I walked over to him and said, hey, man, I'll see you in the rematch. So he's a little bit, I think he's a little bit sad. He's a little bit butthurt that his quote-unquote championship run has been taken away from him, and he has zero credit. He's gotten zero credit for beating me, which he should. It was whatever. It was an injury. And honestly, let's be honest. The ref really screwed up the situation. You can't just stop a fight and call a timeout. I was going to beat Brent Primus on one leg. I had already proven that the only real substantial damage done in that fight, besides me rolling my own ankle, was when I dropped him and had him rocked and almost knocked him out on one leg. So if this was a 13th century me versus him standing in a field as Vikings, and I'm on one leg, I still win that fight to the death 10 times out of 10. And that's why Brent Primus is trying to make this big campaign for, the leg kicks caused this. I'm the champion. So he can say what he wants, but either way, he's got to fight me again, and that's a scary, scary moment in his life.
Fight number 2 for you, does that feel like fight number 2 in a possible trilogy, or does it feel more like a makeup for fight number 1?
Gosh, it's a makeup for fight number 1. There is no scenario or universe in which Brent Primus has the ability to even come close to beating me. And I don't say that disrespectfully. I just say that he's a part-time fighter. Everybody keeps saying he's a young, hungry guy. Do you guys know how old he is?
No.
He's 32 years old, Goes. He's 32. He has 8 fights. He actually started fighting 4 months earlier or later than I did. I can't remember what it was. But he started fighting in the same year that I did. I'm on my 20th fight. He's on his 8th fight. He's a part-time fighter who just literally tripped into a championship. So he's 32 years old. He's not this young, hungry guy that everybody keeps talking about. There's no scenario in which he wins a rematch. There shouldn't even need to be a rematch. The fight, honestly, should have been... The ref should have kept letting us fight, and I would have actually I would have performed one of the greatest comebacks in MMA history if the ref hadn't stepped in. If there's no ref inside that cage stopping the fight, and it's up to me or him to win or lose, I win that fight 10 times out of 10.
Chandler, when we had him on, that was the first time he really told us about the leg kicks, right? So I went back and watched it. I just want to ask you one question here. One of his first kicks. Have you gone back and seen it, by the way?
Yeah.
Okay. One of his first kicks, it looked... I did it in real slow motion. Everybody kept talking about that it was lower leg, but in the first kick that he landed, when I slowed it down, it looked like his shin collided with just above your knee and like just the lower part of the hamstring. And then as you guys kind of disengage, you kind of show concern and kind of rub your left leg, like you just kind of touch it, like as if to say, what was that? Or I don't know. At that point in time, did you know that something was just different from that leg kick than any other leg kick, or did you just feel it like just as any other leg kick?
It was just like any normal leg kick. I mean, that thigh, my left thigh, I've kicked a million times, and I don't really see any correlation. Nobody I've talked to, medical professionals, went up to Sanford Medical with Dr. Reeves, Dr. Troy Gust, and neurosurgeon who specializes in nerves, and a orthopedic surgeon. None of those guys had any other explanation for it, than the rolled ankle. So, he can say what he wants. I've been kicked in my leg a million times, and I don't think there's any nerve damage you can do on the side of that quad, if you will, because it's been kicked a million times. So he can say he trained leg kicks all he wants. He can say whatever he wants. But, you know, it's either way, we have to fight again, and he's scared to death. Either way, the biggest point that needs to be made is I'm just happy I was in the cage with Brent Primus and not one of the other killers I have fought in my life. You know, imagine me being on one leg against Eddie Alvarez, against Patricky Pitbull, against Ben Henderson, against Will Brooks. Guys who have killer instinct, guys who can come forward and go out there and put a beating on you until you literally cannot stand anymore. Do you guys understand that the referee stopped the fight not because Brent Primus was putting it on me, not because Brent Primus was landing punches, knees, kicks, elbows, bloodying me up and making me look bad? The referee literally stepped in because the ankle kept rolling. Are we all in agreement on that or not?
Yeah, that's why the referee stepped in. Yeah, and it was a little bit of a botched handling, but I appreciated that at least he was giving you a chance to continue. But yeah, I guess,
but then again, there should never have been a reason for me to continue. You know, if you're going to stop the fight,
correct? Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Lose the fight right then. You don't stop the fight. I mean, that's what I'm saying. If that was Big John McCarthy, if that was Herb Dean, I mean, no offense to the referee. It's a hard job, and I will never do it because it's the worst thing in the world. Because you are literally have two men or women lives and careers in your hands. You know, so it's a hard situation to deal with. But you know, for me, it was just wrong, man. You know, they had doctors down there looking at my leg, and the one doctor is looking up the other doctor saying, I think he has a tibia fracture and this, that, and the other thing. And you could hear me on the camera. I said, guys, get out of the cage. Let me keep fighting. I have a calf cramp. It's fine. It's just a calf cramp. Let me fight. And I was looking over at Brent Primus, who is scared to death with this weird deer in the headlights look over there in the corner, just kind of pacing back and forth. And I looked at him and I said, I'll go all day. You better hope I don't get up off this stool.
Yeah.
He was done. He was literally... He was hoping that the fight got stopped. He had me on one leg, a sitting duck, and he wasn't able to do any damage, not even a bruise. You know, I woke up the next morning, aside from the sore little leg, feeling like $1 million. You know, and that's what he has to deal with. You know,
yeah.
I hope he runs it back in his head at night and thinks, man, why didn't I do more damage? Man, why didn't I make it more convincing? Man, why didn't I prove to these people that I actually am a champion, that I actually can beat one of the best fighters in the world, instead of letting the refs bail me out? And that's what happened, and that's why he's so upset.
All right, brother. Well, listen, it's a good catch-up that we've had here. First of all, enjoy your summer. This fight obviously will happen in the fall. Enjoy all that halo that you've been getting. That looks like it's going to be a fun time for you and your wife to consume. 17 flavors. Good job on that one. I hope you have a great move to Nashville. Once you're all set up, hopefully we can talk about the rematch, which I'm sure by then will be all set in stone, and we can preview that fight.
Yes, sir. You got it. You
all
guys can come down see me at MMA Junkie Training Center.
Awesome. All right. We look forward to it. Take care, Chandler.
All right. See you guys.
See ya. All right. We're going back to back here, right, Danny? We're ready to go?
We are ready to go.
Our next guest is a world champion in Muay Thai, Jo Nattawut. He is going to be fighting Banchamek Pechakong at Lion Fight 37. You can see the fights on Access TV. If you haven't caught on, Muay Thai is definitely one of the most exciting combat sports out there. I know it's one of Pat Militich's favorite to call, and he's probably psyched. This all goes down 1 week from today. 1 week from tomorrow on July 28th. And Jo Nattawut joins us now. What's up, Joe? How you doing?
Hello.
Hi, Joe. Sorry about the delay in getting you on. Thanks for waiting. Welcome back to MMA Junkie Radio, and we're excited about your title fight next week.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Talk about your opponent. You know, we cover mostly mixed martial arts, but tell us a little bit about your opponent and what are his strengths, I guess, what we can look out for.
He's lefty, squat.
Right.
He have really good defense, good techniques. That's all I know.
Okay. I mean, you guys, you Muay Thai fighters, you have so many fights that do you pretty much at this point, there's nothing that surprises you on fight night? There's no style that can really throw you off?
Not really. I'm fine with any style.
All right. And as far as like title fights, like is it more special time now? You being a world champion, having to defend these titles mean a lot more to you, or when you have so many fights, are they all the same? Basically, it's just another opponent in front of you.
So it's just another opponent. Every fight is big, so I don't have like special fight. I don't have all that detail. Every fight is big. Every fight is hard.
Jo Nattawut joining us here on MMAjunkie Radio. Next week, the Lion Fight super welterweight title is on the line as he defends against Pechanong Benchamek on Access TV. It's at the Foxwoods Resort Casino, and you can watch it again. That's on channel 340 Access TV with Ron Kruk and Pat Miletich on the call. 9 p.m. Eastern start time. Goes, what do you have for Joe?
Joe, Muay Thai fighters fight very frequently throughout the year. For every different opponent you have, do you watch a lot of video? I know in mixed martial arts, the fighters watch a lot of video. Does that happen in Muay Thai?
Yeah, everybody watch a lot of video, though. Everybody always study.
Okay.
I watch some.
Right now in our sport, what we're talking a lot about is Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather, and everybody's talking about how Conor can cross over into boxing. What about in your sport? Has there ever been a Muay Thai guy that has ever wanted to cross over in boxing, and do you feel like the Muay Thai guy would do even better than the MMA guy just because you guys do throw your hands a lot?
Yeah. No, a lot of Thai fighters, they change, like in Thailand, especially in Thailand, they fight Muay Thai for a long time, and then they turn to boxing. A lot of them.
What do you think? How do you think that fight goes down, Joe, between McGregor and Mayweather? Who do you think wins that?
And you never know. Like, to me, Mayweather is the greatest fighter of all time, like, in my eyes. That's what I see. But, McGregor, before the fight, every single fight, everybody always, like, he's going to get knocked out, he's going to get killed. And then he end up kill everybody.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So,
yeah,
like, he always like that. So we will see. I think it's going to be fun.
Yeah. Hey, Joe, if you weren't training for a fight, would you fly to the southern hemisphere where, they're experiencing winter, and right here in North America we're experiencing summer, just so you can get some of your, what do you call it? You do a lot of the snowboarding, right?
Yes, sir. I do snowboarding. Like, when I have time, just for fun. I really like it.
Oh, I see. So it's right now during summer. You obviously can't do it, but it's not like you're that crazy about it that you go to the southern hemisphere and go look for it there.
No, I just do for fun. But I like it though. It's enjoy. It's so much fun.
Yeah. And do you ski too, or just the snowboard?
No, I do snowboarding. I don't ski good, but I don't really. It's not my. I like snowboarding better.
Gotcha. All right. Well, you're a very exciting fighter to watch, and we're really excited to watch you at Lion Fight 37 next Friday on Access TV. You'll defend your title against Pechanong Benchamek, and then we also have another title fight, the Lion Fight World Cruiserweight title between Paul the Reaper Bansiak versus Chip the Surgeon Maraza Pollard. So 2 title fights, and of course Joe's in the main event. Joe, thanks for doing the show. Sorry about the delay on getting you on, but we really appreciate you waiting, and thanks for talking to us. It's always great talking to one of the best in Muay Thai.
Thank you.
Okay, have a good one. Bye-bye. All right, folks. Thank you to Goes for lining up the Chandler interview, and thank you to Scott Zur for lining up the Jo Nattawut interview. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll talk to Miles Hunsinger, who's fighting at PFL Everett, and that's happening next Saturday on July 29th, and it's part of the PFL Everett card. They don't have a number system yet. They're going to do that starting next year, but it's basically the second show that they've done under the PFL name. We already talked to a few other fighters that are on that card. That one's the one headlined by Andre Harrison, and Jake Shields will be on it as well. We'll talk to our guy, Miles Hunsinger, here in studio. So stay close. We'll be right back after this break.
to link into the MMA Junkie Radio Network. Hit us up on Twitter.com at MMA Junkie Radio. This is MMA Junkie Radio. Here are your hosts, Gorgeous George and Goes.
All right, we're joined by Miles Hunsinger here in studio. We're excited to have him, but I just got to pass this along. Goes showed me during the Chandler Nattawut interview, Lincoln Park singer Chester Bennington has committed suicide by hanging. That's being reported by TMZ, and that's sad as hell, man. I like that guy. I like that band. We just saw them at the Chelsea in within a month, right?
A week before the Junkie Gathering is when it was, wasn't it?
Is that what it was?
I believe so.
Yeah, because no,
our cousin Chris came back. Remember?
Yeah, so just a little bit over a month ago, they had released a new album, so we went there, had a good time. That's when I threw out my back. But this dude's got a powerful voice, like he was a Stone Temple Pilot singer for a while, and like his voice is really incredible. It's only duplicated by guys like Steven Tyler, where they just, it's like a pipe, you know, where it's just yelling and yelling, and yet they can perform the next night and do it over again and still hit the. It's just an incredible voice that he has, honestly. But thoughts and prayers with his family, his 6 kids. That's so sad. And obviously the Lincoln Park, the bandmates, they must be crushed, and all the fans. That's terrible.
They were supposed to be here
again
in a couple months, right?
Yeah, in September. Wow. That sucks, man. Miles, so sorry to come in with such a solemn type of environment here talking about this, but we're really excited to have you back. Seeing you training over there at Extreme Couture, always catching you, seeing you evolve and improve, and now you put it to the test at PFL in Everett. Coming up here, in 9 days, right?
9 days, man. Can't wait. Just getting excited, getting pumped, feeling sharp. And great to be here. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, someone's must go in this fight. Andy Negretto is 2-0. You're 5-0. So yeah.
Yeah, his O's definitely gonna go.
Yeah, that's one of those where the trajectory will change. They always say, "Oh, the loss is the best thing that could happen to me." Blah blah blah. You learn, but tell that to Gaethje or Nurmagomedov. They're still undefeated, and all these doors open for them. So I don't know. It's just the saying that I think people say. But regardless, this is going to be a big fight for both of you. Talk about PFL. What's your plan there? Are you just basically fighting and then positioning yourself to be maybe part of a tournament next year? Is that the plan, or?
Absolutely. Trying to make a run at that tournament, that $1 million. So couldn't be more happy. Really love Ray Sefo and what he's doing with the organization there. PFL is where it's at, man. Paying the athletes and treating them well.
That's why we kept them here, right, George? We want to be part of that $1 million spending spree he's going to go on in Vegas.
That's right, man. Keep that undefeated streak. Ray's saying $1.3 million if I win all my fights.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Because there's 6 fights to get there, and you get payments along the way from those fights.
Yeah.
Wow. And how many? Is it going to be just this fight, and then you'll be ready for 2018, or you can try and stay busy?
I'm hoping another one in October here in Vegas, and defend it in the home soil.
That's right, because they're coming back. Yeah, okay. Why has it been kind of a while since we've seen you?
So I've only been fighting for 4.5 years, and so I just took some time and was focused on getting my skills better. I've stayed undefeated, been smart, just took this as a business venture, and so now with the opportunity with PFL, I just couldn't be more excited to put it all out there and just be all in.
It's not like you were injured or anything. You just wanted to take time to get better?
Yeah, I just want to take time to get better. I did the Ultimate Fighter show again. I tried out for it. Made it through all the cuts, and then was really disappointed when that didn't come through.
Which one?
It was they were doing 205, 205 with the girls. Which one was that?
Okay.
They were doing
a couple seasons ago.
Yeah,
you were gonna do 205.
Yeah, I was going to do 205.
Wow.
I'm trying to figure out how that worked. Really?
That's how bad you wanted in the UFC. You're willing to do that.
Yeah, no doubt, man. So I've just been playing it smart. I want to get paid to do this. So, that's pretty much why I took the time off, is just to get better. And yeah, man, just the right opportunity came.
And do you feel like you have shored a lot of deficiencies up, or?
Absolutely, I feel very well rounded. Like I said, especially with only 4.5 years of training. I'm just strong in every area.
What about your cardio? How's that coming along? Because in the RFA fight, you fought well, but your gas tank was starting to diminish. You know, I don't have the greatest memory, but I'm a fan of yours. So when I was watching, I was like, hang in there. I remember saying that one. But like, let's talk about that part.
No, 100%. So first round went great. I thought I was gonna finish him, and you know, slowly started to gas, and you know, I don't think it was due to preparation. I think you know, I got a nasty staph infection. Was on antibiotics, but no excuses, man. I came into this camp really focusing on cardio, and I stopped lifting weights. I was lifting weights like 3-4 times a week before. Now I'm lifting maybe once, if that, and I'm really noticing the difference in my gas tank.
You know, didn't King Mo say that antibiotics kills your
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, I remember hearing that. Hey,
plus he was jacked, and not to say you're still iron. I mean, you're always in great shape, but I remember you know, it looked like you really hit the weights a lot back in the day.
Yeah, I was doing a little too much weightlifting, so now it's just focus on the skills.
I enjoy checking out your social media because you get to see the MMA side, but you also get to see the Miles Hunsinger on the side, like your vacations and the work that you do, the therapy work. Can you kind of talk a little bit about that world?
Yeah, absolutely. So I just got certified in doing Graston. So I do soft tissue work.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's it's like an instrument that you like can work
scraping?
out. Yeah, scraping.
Yeah, instrument assisted soft tissue. And so I've been in this rehab game for about the same amount of time I've been fighting, about 4 years. So I'm a therapy assistant. I'm also I'm sorry, I'm getting mixed up here. So I'm a therapy assistant, and I'm also certified in sports medicine. And so I've been working with a ton of UFC athletes and just, you know, general population, helping people with injuries and just, you know, love that too. Everything I do I'm passionate about, so it's great to bring those worlds together.
But you can actually do the therapy on someone.
Yeah.
So let me tell you about this. About 5 years ago, I'm in Patrick Black's office, the chiropractor buddy that we know, 5-6 years ago, in Tustin, California. And I used to get and still get massages from time to time, you know, once every 3 months or whatever. And he had a guy in there that was like one of the pioneers of the Graston technique. And he said, he goes, he was telling me how that instrument could, I guess, what does it do? It raises the blood, or and it works out inflammation at way higher levels than what someone's elbow can do or whatever, you know. So I remember he did it, and of course my back was like marked up or whatever, not like bad or anything, but you could just tell where he had done the work. But I did feel like looser.
How did it feel different as compared to the massage? Like, did it hurt more?
It doesn't hurt, no. But I guess whatever that instrument does, I'll let Miles explain it. I guess I don't know if it gets in deeper on the muscle tissue or what it does, but I read up on it a little bit, you know, and definitely it has been taken off. And then I didn't hear anything about that for about another 2 years until Joe Lazon, after the Miller fight. He had to get the Graston around his nose or his eye, because remember he had a bad cut, so I had to do something as well with healing the scar tissue as well. Yeah. And
he's probably chomping at the bit, huh?
And then I haven't heard it.
He's talking about.
And then I haven't heard it again. So yeah, talk about it. And please do a better job than I did, because I did a horrific job. But
you're good.
That's the little limited interaction I've had with that.
So yeah, it's to regenerate stem cells, and it just kind of speeds up the healing process. The important part is that we get some active recovery as well, just kind of flush that collagen back in the tissue. So it's all just about correcting movements and homework. You can't just be like a one and done. You gotta kind of change lifestyle to really make a permanent fix.
Like, I know Eric Nixick has a lot of scar tissue problems with his shoulder.
Well, you see a lot of those guys go to him. That's where I've seen those videos where.
Absolutely, yeah.
Those guys go over there and see him.
Nixick, Cepho, Brad, you know, and a lot of the guys from Syndicate. So I've came around and we blew in the nose with Dr. Petrick.
You've done that too?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh dear God, that one just.
Have you heard it? Have you heard the noise it makes? Like, it kind of goes like that, dude. It's weird.
Does it really work, that one?
It actually is. I love it. I absolutely love it. I can't even believe how well it worked for me. So you know, just all the hard sparring sessions I've been in. You know, especially with Mike Pyle, you know, smashing my nose.
And what does it do again?
It
clears your sinus. What?
Yeah, so it adjusts the your nasal passages and the sutures in your skull, But for me, the biggest thing is just having all that scar tissue and cartilage built up in my nose, and just kind of blew the passages open so that I could breathe a lot better. We talk about gassing out and things like that. So.
And you really do breathe a lot better? Or is that something you just say to the guy kindly, even though you're fucking pissed he stuck a balloon in his nose?
No, I'll tell you what, it hurts, especially the first time I got it done. When I got it done the second and third time, it didn't hurt that bad. The first time it did hurt, but it was well worth it. I just felt like I got a whole new gas tank.
No shit.
Hey, this may sound like a silly question, but do you smell better as well?
Yeah, no doubt. I can smell much better.
Yeah.
No, for real?
You know, I can just breathe much better through my nose. I've always been kind of a mouth breather, and ever since I got it done, I'm just breathing really well through the nose. So much appreciated.
Do you get it?
I've got it done 3 times.
But how often?
So the first time, I felt like it was kind of a permanent fix. I just got it done once, and I didn't think I needed it again. But when I went to Syndicate and Couture's, I just got it done to show everybody, hey, this is safe.
But how long ago was the first time?
It was probably coming up maybe on a year ago.
And that one time sorted you out. You were good after that.
Oh, so a night and day difference.
How bad was the pain?
Yeah.
I would say it was, probably like a good 1-2 to the face.
Whoa.
Jesus, really?
Not a good 1-2, maybe like a sparring 1-2 to the face.
Sparring with big 16-ounce gloves?
Yeah, with the 16s on.
Was the guy wearing headgear? Or did he just catch you flush on the face?
I'm going to say that we were going like 70%, and he caught me pretty square.
You and another mid-sized guy like yourself. So it wasn't like Cepho, but it wasn't.
Yeah, another welterweight.
Both sides, or just do you only have to do one?
I did both. Yeah, you want to do both.
So they both feel like that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it hurts.
Okay, how long does it last? How long does it hurt?
I would say like 20 minutes.
Now for 20 minutes, are you like, fucking get out of my face? I don't want to talk to you. Like, are you just like miserable, or is it just for that first minute and then you're slowly just getting over it?
Yeah. It's that first 30 seconds, and then like after that, just for that 20 minutes, you're like watery, a little sensitive, but it's like 20 seconds of pain.
And then after that, you're okay.
Oh yeah, after that you feel great. I felt great. I needed it. I mean, I can't speak for somebody that has great breathing through their nose, how they would feel. But if you have, some blockages in there and you get it done, you're gonna love it.
You get that done to you, or you know how to do it to people?
Oh no, I get it done to me.
You don't know how to do it to people?
I bet I could, but I wouldn't.
And then the doctor that does it, is he? Does it have to be like in a sanitary environment, or could he do it here?
Yeah, he did it at the gyms. Yeah, so it'd probably be better here, honestly.
Yeah.
I would hope so.
You would do it, Ghost?
Fuck no.
I thought you were just asking me if I would do it.
I would ask you if you would, yeah, because this is the one that I'll take. I've done a lot of stupid things, but I don't know about this one.
Wow.
Because I'll be sneezing everywhere. I won't stop.
That's not it. It's just the pain. Well, I mean, if the doctor came right here and says, oh, no, it has nothing to do with the sneezing, then would you do it? It has to do with the pain.
But my nose. Like, if you tap my nose, I start sneezing.
Yeah, but you stop.
Well, yeah, eventually, but I'm not on the air.
Okay, post-show.
Yeah, I would do it.
Okay. I don't know. I'll have to think about it. I'm a puss.
You guys should do it.
I'm older, though. I'm older by 10 years, so I've entered that pussy stage. Like, we're just, you're up on the 30th floor looking over a building going, oh, yeah, it's pretty cool. And roller coasters. Yeah, I'll skip that one. And I don't know.
I'll be really rude about it, though. Like, like if once he does the first one, if he goes, hey, buddy, I'd probably be the guy that goes, shut up and just do the next one. Just shut up. Just do it. I might be a little rude, but I'll do it.
And is the pain so bad from the first one that you need a break before the second one, or you just go back to back?
I would just go back to back. Just get it done.
Oh, yeah.
But you're saying you're in excruciating pain. Don't you want to?
No, I wouldn't say excruciating. I didn't mean to go that far. It's discomfort. Discomfort.
What? Eric has a video of it. I think on it. See if I can pull it up.
Pull it up right here. Yeah. I want to see it. That's crazy. And the Graston, does that go anywhere? It's joint inflammation, right? Basically, or is that more for muscle tissue?
No, more for soft tissue. I mean, it'll definitely help with the joints as well, but just lubricate it and all that. Just get more blood flow. But
it raises the red blood cells up. Is that what it is, or something like that?
Yeah, it'll bring more more blood cells.
That's why my back was like. I mean, it looked like I had gotten beaten by a stepdad or something like that.
Yeah, that's petechia. So that's not necessarily the goal. I think in more severe cases, you want to get in there, and especially if you're like trying to free up a nerve or something like that. But for the most part, just less is more.
Wow.
What about cupping? Do you guys ever do that?
I haven't. I've done all kinds of stuff, but I haven't done cupping.
What is that, when you fart in your hand and go like that? What's the cupping?
You've never seen cupping when they put the cups on
that stuff. Yeah. Have you ever had it done to you?
I haven't.
Okay,
I've
you haven't done it, and you haven't. Okay.
I've been doing a bunch of dry needling lately. Shout out to Calvin, the physical therapist at our
What
clinic.
on earth is that one?
It is so you get stuck with the needles. They just kind of just stick you with needles, man, and just kind of break down that scar tissue, and then they'll hook you up to a
But that's
electrode.
what Steve does. Steve Hing, right?
Acupuncture.
Acupuncture. Is it a fancy name or a different name for acupuncture, or a different version, or what?
I think it's similar to acupuncture. I think it's a little more scientific, and they're just using more anatomy. They're not gonna stick you like in the neck to fix your foot. Basically, they're gonna stick your foot. But what I really enjoy is when he hooks up the electrode and then shocks you with the needles in you, and it actually feels really good.
Who was it that I saw did that?
Wow.
It was just like 2 days ago.
Dude, you're like S&M over
Oh,
here for the last 2 years.
Joseph Benavides at the UFC Training Center was doing that.
Was he really?
Yeah, he was not feeling it either.
He didn't like it?
No.
Huh.
You think they have
now?
that
What
there,
about
yeah.
let's just dunk him in an ice bath and let him recover that way? What happened to the old school way of doing it?
You know, I love ice baths. I absolutely love ice baths. I'm a big fan. Probably once a week.
Okay. We got to take a commercial. We got Miles Hunsinger here in studio with us. We're having a great time here learning about all these different recovery methods that they have available to the athletes. The sport's always evolving. It evolves not just inside the cage, but outside the cage. Follow him on Twitter, Merkenstein, MERKENSTEIN. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back. Again, Miles Hunsinger fighting at PFL Everett, July 29th. We'll talk more when we come back. Let's do some MMA history today, and then we'll do a soft exit. We'll keep Miles here for an additional 5 minutes to talk about his fight at PFL Everett, happening on July 29th. You can watch the fight on NBC Sports. He'll be battling Andy Negredo, who's 2-0. Goes, take it away, MMA history today.
Why do you always send it to me? It's Danny.
Danny, take it away, MMA history today.
All right. Normally I would ask you what you thought happened, but 44 years ago today, the godfather of mixed martial arts, Bruce Lee, died in Hong Kong, China. We've got to keep it short.
44 years ago today?
44 years ago today, July 20th, 1973.
You know, I always felt like there was somebody that rivaled him in that, and that was Helio Gracie, and I'm glad we got to meet him before he passed away.
Yeah.
And that happened somewhere around late May because it was a few days before Ryan Bennett passed away as well. But anyway, all right, we're going to do a soft exit here. SiriusXM audience, check us out on the SiriusXM app or tomorrow. And the rest of you hang in there. We're going to come right back with Miles Hunsinger.
Viva Las Vegas with your neon flashing and your one-armed bandits crashing all those hopes down the drain. Viva Las Vegas turning day into night.
Hi guys, we play for overtime.
All right, so Miles, tell us a little bit about Andy Negredo. What have you studied on him?
He's kind of explosive. He's got heavy hands. You know, but nothing I haven't seen. You know, just training with killers all the time, and super confident going into this fight. You know, I had a phenomenal last sparring session. I did my last 3 rounds with Brad, and I felt really strong against him. So, like I said, I'm not too worried. You know, anything can happen in there. So I'm just choosing to enjoy the whole process and go in there real confident.
Who will accompany you to Everett, Washington? Who's your coaching staff?
Eric's going to be in my corner. So my coaches right now have been Eric and Ray, but with him being the president, he's not going to be in my corner. So it'll likely be Eric and Nate Pettit. Eric Nixick and Nate Pettit.
Does Ray give you a wink, like on the way out?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he knows what's coming. He knows what's coming.
That's funny. That Extreme Couture gym, man, we love going in there and seeing you guys, and you're definitely one of the constants in there. You don't really take a day off, or you don't miss many of the, at least when I go in there on Tuesdays, which is Little Glove Day, you're always in there.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. So I'm in love with what I do, and constantly trying to get better and involve my game. This is not something you want to do half-heartedly. You got to be all in.
Think of all the different looks that he gets from the guys that are in that gym, because I've seen before where he's going with Cepho, and then you got Uriah Hall, and then you got Brad Tavares. There's all these different styles that you have to deal with, and that's just practice, man. I got to imagine when it comes fight time, you're like, dude, I saw way worse than there.
Yeah, no doubt, man. That brings supreme confidence. I mean, eventually I'll get to that level where I'll be fighting guys like that, but right now it's the harder days are going to be in the gym, I'm sure.
You know, I was watching once you were training with Uriah Hall, and he actually spoke to you before you started training, almost like he was telling you, these are the ground rules when you spar me, and you just kept nodding your head like, yeah, let's just get going. They already rang the bell. But first of all, the first time you sparred with him, was it about 3 months ago?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Okay, so do you kind of remember what he said or anything? I think he's always told us, I'll go as hard as you go. Was it something as simple as that, or?
Yeah, let me think. If I remember right, it was something encouraging, because I think it was my first time going with him, and I was kind of like, I seen videos in the gym of him knocking guys out and stuff like that. I was like, I'm not trying to be one of those guys, but if you want to fight in the gym, I'll fight you. I mean, that's how it goes, but you just got to be smart. You want to take your damage.
So he was cool during that interaction.
Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't sure. I was watching you guys, and it almost looked like he was, like saying this is the deal or whatever, and you were nodding your head. He kept talking, you were nodding your head, and it took a while for you guys to get going, and then sometimes it got a little heated, but it backed off, and in the end, it turned out to be a great sparring session to watch. Yeah. He's fun to watch. He really is fun to watch, honestly.
He is, man. I like that style. I really like that karate style. I've been implementing that a lot. So, and afterwards, he was definitely complimenting me. So yeah, shout out to him. Good dude.
Very cool. Brad's another frequent partner of yours. Who else do you like to mix it up in there with? Is Gray too small? Kevin Lee, is he too small? Or do you guys get some?
Yeah, Kevin Lee and I have been doing having some great grappling exchanges.
What's he like on the ground for you?
I like going with him. He's I definitely want to pick. I try to emulate the stuff he's doing on the back. He takes the back really well.
Yeah. Did you see when he bit his glove?
I didn't see that. That's awesome.
When he took, see if you can find.
I didn't.
All right,
see
type
that. You brought it up
Kevin Lee, Mike Chiesa, Fox highlights. I think something as simple as that. We're in some overtime here. We'll be done in just a bit. And again, Miles can be followed on Twitter at Merkenstein, MERKENSTEIN. Miles is fighting next Saturday, July 29th, on NBC Sports at the Xfinity Arena in Everett, Washington, against Andy Negredo. He's out of Extreme Couture. He's undefeated. We haven't had him on the show in a while, but he hasn't fought in about 2 years. So it'll be just over 2 years. Hasn't been injured. Just wanted to take some time off to get better. So definitely excited to see him back in action. Anything else?
Yeah, I think I got it.
All right. So watch this, guys. I caught this. And I also saw someone talking on social media because I wasn't sure if I knew what the fuck I had just seen.
Veterans, but Ken Spoil, let's talk about this main event. Kevin Lee threw the first punch, and he got the last laugh against Michael Chiesa.
He did. You know, Chiesa actually landed a nice left hand at one point and had some nice opportunities for some submissions. Kevin Lee had to fight off of his back here. Again, Chiesa was able to get a guillotine at one point, then able to attack with a triangle, but it was that mistake right there from Chiesa, giving up his back. Lee able to get that body triangle, and
watch
Chiesa
right here.
just was not
Hold on,
going
guys.
anywhere at this point.
Stop it?
Yeah. Now, at some point, you can't go slow motion, so I just want you to have your hand on the trigger. He is going to bite, I believe, this glove. He's going to bite it.
Savage.
And I think it's when he pulls it back. It was actually slick, and I keep meaning to ask Big John if it's within the own rules, because you can hold your own trunks. You can't hold your opponent's trunks. So I don't know if that would apply, because I don't know if it's biting, since you're not biting your opponent, you're just biting your own equipment. But watch it. It hasn't been talked about much.
Big shots. Now here's the rear naked choke by Lee.
I think it's right there.
Not yet, not yet.
Now, Mari Yamasaki is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt instructor, and here he is watching this. There's
Watch
no
Lee's mouth.
danger to the body as far as the arm isn't going to break, the neck isn't going to break here.
What
All this is
the? Wait, go back.
Instructor, and here he is watching this.
Go back more.
There's no imminent danger.
I think it's when he first
Lee
applied the
able to
first.
get that body triangle, and Chiesa just was not going anywhere at this point. Ate some big shots. Now here's the rear naked choke by Lee.
I think it's right
now,
there.
Mari Yamasaki is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt instructor.
Let's see if they show another angle.
There's no imminent danger to
Right now
the
I'm looking
body
like a
as far as
fool.
The arm isn't going to break.
But I
the
know
neck
I
isn't
saw
gonna
it.
break
Let's see if
here.
there's another
All
angle.
This is affecting the neck, and you see Chiesa get up immediately. You have to wait. You have to give a fighter a chance. And for anyone who saw the Felice Herrig versus Justine Kish fight, it looked like she was done as well. They let it go. She was able to escape.
Good one, George.
Hey, we just need another angle.
What if you type in Kevin Lee bites glove?
All right.
See if anyone else has seen it.
Kevin Lee.
Randy's over there like, George, just kill it. Sorry, Randy.
Bites glove.
I can't believe no one's really been talking about it. Or Kevin Lee takes back or something like that. Chiesa. Let's see if there's another highlight. But when he goes to first put it on, it looked like he bit his glove. And I don't know, I have to look at it again, but it looked like he bit his glove, and just when he sat back, because he wasn't able to maybe fully get it the way he wanted to. But then once he got it in, he was able to lock in the first submission, not palm to palm, but he was just going with a standard rear naked choke. Then, of course, he had to switch it up. But initially, when he first wanted to rock back, there's an angle where it looks like he bites his glove.
Right, and I know he goes through and he like cinches it too with his chin, like so you can't. I've experienced it. He goes back and cinches that thing with his damn chin too.
Do you mentioned Syndicate? Was that just to promote the other work that you do, or do you actually go and train there?
No, I train at both.
I thought that was kind of a no-no. I thought there was a little bit of a dividing line between those two gyms.
It really seems. I think I'm the only one. I think I'm the only one that goes back and forth. Well, actually, Powell goes back and forth a little bit, but
Powell still comes back to Extreme.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
A little bit, but I mean, I think same thing. I'm more of a couture guy now, and but tonight I'm gonna go train with Tom. I'm gonna go do a private wrestling with Tom, and so man, I love Syndicate too.
Do you ever go to Drysdale's?
I actually haven't. I need to though.
Anything goes?
I can't put it up, but
oh, so I'm not crazy, right? You can't put that up? Why? It's public, so it shouldn't be a problem. It's just like going to YouTube.
Dude's biting it, huh?
Yeah. So see, this it's kind of like a little GIF.
See right there? Watch. Right there. Oh. He bites his glove, and then because he's hanging onto the fence, and otherwise he'll fall.
I don't know that you could have that much grip though with a mouthpiece, can you?
I don't know. Randy, you want to take a look so you can tell Junkie Nation I'm not a lunatic?
It looks like he's biting it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
It's like he's taking a chop out of his glove right there.
Do you say you do go to Drysdale's? That's where he got better with the Grand Game. Do you go there or no?
No, I should. I've heard nothing but great things. I've been a Vinny Magalea guy.
Oh, he's a stud as well.
So
do you get a lot of time in with him?
Yeah, I've grappled with him tons.
Very cool. You what other gyms do you visit?
lately I've just been sticking with a little bit of Syndicate, mostly Couture's, and then I've been hitting that Performance Center, which is really sick.
It's legit?
Yeah.
How can you get in there? Do you have to go with someone, or can you just go, man, I'm Miles Hunter. I know the guys from Junkie. That gets me in.
Yeah, right. That's all it is. You know, I haven't tried to do it on my own, but I go with I did Brad's camp with him, so I just went with Brad the whole time.
Yeah. You like it in there?
Love it. Love it. It's a great atmosphere.
What's like? Give me other than all the equipment they have. What's one thing you like more than the recovery side, I guess?
Yeah, so just like kind of like the amenities they have there. I really love the ice bath. I mean, I told you I'm a big fan of ice bath, and that thing is way more cold than an ice bath that I take in my house. It is another level because like at my house, I'll throw 2 bags of ice in there in the cold water. After about 3 minutes, I'm about numb. I'm good. I'm chilled out. And in there,
how far in do you go?
Up to my neck.
Up to your neck. Okay. By yourself or?
Yeah, by myself. And but there, I was expecting the same thing. I was like looking at my clock, 3 minutes roll by, and I'm still just shivering. Like that thing is another level cold. And then
what's the temperature at the PI?
I think they're like 40 something.
And what do you think you're at home? Have you ever?
I've engaged it, but it's not that cold. Cause yeah,
I've done one bag.
1 bag, yeah.
Yeah, is that the pussy laugh? Like what a pussy. 1 bag's not that gangster.
No, it's gangster. If you're willing to do any kind of ice bath, you're gangster. But I mean, the only time I'll really do it is when I'm getting ready for a fight. I'm not gonna lie. This is too brutal.
Oh really? Oh okay. So it's not part of like training camp or anything.
No, it is. It's definitely training camp. That's when I do it. I won't do it on the off season. Like if I'm getting ready for a fight, I'm ice bathing. But otherwise, I'm pussying out.
Catch us up on street fights. You got any more good ones?
So I've been staying out of trouble, but I don't think I've shared this one with you guys yet. So
I'm already ready. Miles has good ones.
So I'm in downtown Boise, and
how long ago?
Let's say this is 4 years ago.
All right. But it was really like 2 weeks ago.
This is before us, started training mixed martial arts. Okay,
the story's got to make sense. You can't be like, I was in an Uber.
Right, exactly.
Right. So we're walking along, and this is like 2 o'clock after the bars close, and so we're heading home.
Me and
my wife and a couple of my friends. My little brother was there.
Okay.
And so she stops off and wants to go to Pita Pit. She wants to get a sandwich, so we're just waiting outside the Pita Pit. And then I don't know what.
Is that like the White Castle of Boise or something like that?
Pretty much.
Okay.
Pretty much. The healthier White Castle.
Okay.
So we're waiting outside, and I don't know what's going on between somebody that I'm with and a big group of other individuals, and so they're kind of scuffling back and forth. I don't know if you know what's going on, but next thing you know, they're telling us that I got to leave. They're saying that the group that I'm with has got to leave. I'm not going anywhere. I'm standing right here, and I'm just kind of laughing at them, whatever. And then and I'm obviously not going to leave. I'm waiting for my wife.
How many were there with them? The other team, the other group?
A lot more than I thought. A lot more than I thought.
Take a guess. 10? 15?
I'm going to say at least 10. I'm going to say at least 10.
You thought 5 at the time or something like that?
Yeah, I was thinking 5-ish.
And in your group, it was you, your wife, and one other guy? Or how many other guys?
So me and my wife, my brother, and my friend. So I had 3 people with me.
All right.
And I'm thinking there's maybe 5 of them and then a bunch of girls. But it ends up being more than that. And so I'm just laughing at them, whatever, and they're trying to be tough with me, saying I got to leave. And then but no one's touching me. No one's doing anything.
And you still don't know why, huh?
No, I don't know. I think a guy. So a guy that I was with, I think, was like hitting on their girls or something. I don't know what was going on between them.
All right.
But I wasn't involved in it. And so next thing you know, one of them shoves my brother up against the wall, which is like a brick wall, and he shoves him pretty hard. And
now, is your brother scrappy like you, or is he more mellow?
He's definitely more mellow. I mean, he scraps, but he's more mellow than me. And I'm just the type that I never want to engage in a fight or anything like that. Like, I wouldn't pick a fight basically. But you're gonna touch my family or something like that, I'm gonna snap. So he shoves my brother up against the wall pretty damn hard, and I literally like pick this guy up and like throw him into the street, get on top of him and do like a pretty nasty pick his head up and slam it into the ground.
Damn, Miles.
A Hulk smash?
It was bad. It was bad. I just kind of I lost it for a second there. And once I realized what I did, like I got up and started running. I was like, oh shit, I don't know what I just did to this guy. So I get up and actually start sprinting away. And then I turn back around, and then I see one of them's like in my wife's face and yelling at her. And so I sprint back. I sprint back and then like try to like do like a drive-by like punch this guy. But it was coming from like a mile away, so he kind of saw that coming. And so once I missed. I missed.
Okay.
So once I missed the punch, I come up underneath him and pick him up and slam him on the ground. And then
so you're in an all-out sprint, miss a punch, and you're able to pivot, stop and pivot like that? Were you the Matrix?
Matrix, man. So yeah, I'm used to like that kind of like.
You didn't even have to do like one of these, and then run back.
How funny this would have been to watch. Like you see the guy do that, then run far, then run back, throw the haymaker.
It was so stupid.
All right, I'm just bullshit. So then what happens? You scoop him up.
I scoop him up, take him down, and then that's a stupid idea to take somebody down when you're fighting a group of people.
Okay.
And
the shoot box team started kicking.
Started kicking me.
Okay.
So I'm getting kicked, and I'm getting kicked on the ground. And
what's your brother doing at this point, and the other guy?
So my brother, and my boy Deadly. My boy Deadly, he came back. They're scrapping. They're
so they're in there.
They're in there.
Okay.
And from obviously I didn't see it, but from what I heard, my brother had knocked the guy out that kicked me in the head. But I'm on top of the guy, and so I finally kind of get some space where there's not a bunch of people on top of me, and I'm hitting him, and I see the cops got like the corner of my eye, and I'm so mad at the time. I'm like, whatever, and I just keep hitting him, and then right when the cops like get to me, I take off running, and at this point, I guess I talk about a gas tank. I guess I'm gassed, and so they try to tackle me like 5 or 6 different times, and I'm like whipping them off me. Yes.
Okay.
I'm whipping them off me, and then when they finally get me down, man, the cops they beat me up a little bit. But
sticks came out.
They were kneeing me. They were just kneeing the crap out of me. I'm like, I'm not resisting. You they just keep kneeing me. But luckily there was a bunch of witnesses there that was said that they had started the whole altercation and everything. So ended up going pretty well my way, even though I got beat up by the cops. But it wasn't too bad. They kind of dropped the charges and everything because the witnesses, because I was really just laughing at them, and they just kept pressing us back, and then ended up being like 10 of them versus like 3 of us. But that was my last one. That was my last altercation, and
that was a good one.
That was a great story,
I'm gonna
man.
put that in top 10. I like it.
That was a great story.
Hey, thanks, guys.
And I love that Deadly was involved again.
Deadly's always there.
All right, brother. Well, listen, it's great to have you back in action after 2 years.
Oh, man, it's great to be back.
Good luck with the rest of your camp. Sounds like the hard ones are out, so now it's just a matter of time of shedding that weight, getting on that scale, and then getting down at PFL Everett. So good luck with all that. Safe travels to Everett. And do you want to say anything else before we let you go? Promote any of those side businesses you have going on or social media?
Absolutely, man. So I just want to promote Las Vegas Pain Relief Center. That's where I work. Another sponsor of mine. Boost. It's a vitamin drip. And then Crevetti's Ortho. And Steven Siegel Suits. And then also Hotbox Farms. Really appreciate the support, guys.
Just to be clear, it's not Steven Seagal Suits, right? Steven Siegel Suits?
Steven Siegel Suits.
Okay.
What's
man.
a Hotbox?
The Hotbox is medicinal marijuana.
Oh, okay.
That was like a rhino thing.
All right, so I want to thank Miles Hunsinger. Goes lined that one up. Shout out to Goes. Thanks to Jo Nattawut. Scott Zur helped me with that one, and Michael Chandler. Goes lined that one up as well. All right, tomorrow we're going to be joined by Ricky Palacios from Combate, Andre Feely from the UFC. We got a couple more guests coming through that haven't been locked in, but should have a fun show. Maybe even one surprise guest, somebody I'm working on from the Mayweather team.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so that should be fun. All right, folks, we are out of here. Thanks to Danny and Goes and Miles, and it's great to see you again, Randy. Folks, enjoy the game tonight. Man U vs. Man City on ESPN2 at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 Eastern. Go Man U. We're out of here. Be champions.
Peace.